Dennis Thurl Dowthitt, March 7, 2001. He was found guilty on October 7, 1992, of killing 16-year-old Gracie Pernhagen in Conroe, Texas, while committing an aggravated sexual assault. On June 13, 1990, Gracie and Tiffany Pernhagen, 16 and 9 years old respectively, were last seen by their mother. The girls received money to go out and eat and walk the short distance to a movie theater. They were spotted later that night with Dowthitt and his 16-year-old son Delton. Another witness described seeing Gracie and Tiffany exiting a bowling center, with Gracie declaring that her boyfriend Delton was picking her up. Delton testified about what happened next. To pick up the girls and take them home, Delton had made arrangements for Dowthitt to drive him to the bowling alley. Dowthitt recommended that they stop and have a beer when they picked up the girls. He and Dowthitt had already bought a couple of six-packs. Dowthitt drove the group to a remote location and parked after Gracie said she was okay with the idea. While Dowthitt and Tiffany were at the front of the pickup truck, Gracie and Delton moved behind it and started kissing. Then, looking scared, Tiffany approached the back of the truck and whispered to her sister that Dowthitt was attempting to frighten her. Some evidence suggested that Dowthitt had attempted to assay Tiffany. As he approached the rear of the vehicle brandishing a knife, Dowthitt admitted what had happened and declared, "We've got to get rid of them." When Delton said no, Dowthitt threw Gracie to the ground and cut her throat, claiming it was too late. Delton received orders from Dowthitt to do it. Following those orders, Delton placed a rope around Tiffany's neck after strangling her until she collapsed to the ground. As this was going on, Dowthitt removed Delton's beer bottle from the rear of the truck and used it to assay Gracie. Delton was instructed by Dowthitt to participate in assaying the girl, but he declined. After cutting Gracie's throat once more, Dowthitt handed the knife to Delton, telling him to cut Tiffany's throat. However, Delton concealed the knife, carried Tiffany into the woods, and then assisted Dowthitt in moving Gracie. Dowthitt tossed the bottle into the truck's trunk. Later that night, two witnesses saw Dowthitt at his car business and saw that his shirt was bloody. The following day, before the remains of the victims were found, Dowthitt called and repeatedly asked his daughter Darla if she would forgive him for what he's done. According to Darla's testimony, she had been close friends with the victims. Under the pretense of going to see Dowthitt's aunt, Dowthitt, Delton, and other family members departed for Louisiana on June 16, 1990. That night, Gracie and Tiffany's bodies were found in a South Montgomery County wooded area. According to later testimony from a medical examiner, Gracie died from injuries to her neck and Tiffany died from ligature strangulation. Evidence of a beer bottle-sized assay was found on Gracie's body, confirming that she was conscious at the time of the assault. According to Dowthitt's aunt's later testimony, on June 17, 1990, Dowthitt confided in her that he was disturbed and on the verge of tears, telling her, "I did it and I made Delton do it." Upon his arrest, Delton originally claimed responsibility for both killings and attempted to hide Dowthitt's role. He then clarified that he had been threatened by Dowthitt along with his mother and sisters, and that he had thought that his punishment would be less harsh since he was a minor. In return for a 45-year sentence and the dropping of the Gracie capital murder allegation, Delton pled guilty to Tiffany's murder and consented to testify. According to Delton's attorney, he had informed him of Dowthitt's involvement from the start, even prior to the plea deal. Dowthitt was arrested for the murder of Gracie after making a string of contradictory statements to police, going from denying to acknowledging that he was at the murder scene. Two of Dowthitt's daughters, Donna and Darla, testified about his actions toward them during the punishment phase of his trial. According to Donna's testimony, Dowthitt had inappropriately touched her when she was 4 or 5 years old. When she was 15, Dowthitt touched her once again and asked whether she could recall the incident from her early years. After this later situation, Donna left right away and stopped living with Dowthitt. Darla, Dowthitt's 18-year-old daughter, testified that on the Sunday prior to the killings, she went camping with her father. Dowthitt then threatened her with a knife and essayed her when they were by themselves. She went on to say that he had essayed her since she was 11 years old and had previously assaulted her with a broom and a bottle. Additionally, Dowthitt had promised to buy her a car in exchange for her finding him a young girl. Dowthitt blamed his son for both murders and maintained his innocence until the day he was finally executed. On the gurney, in his last words, he admitted to the killings and apologized to the victims' families. His last statement was, "I am so sorry for what all you had to go through. I can't imagine losing 2 children. If I was y'all, I would have killed me. You know, I'm really sorry about it. I really am. I gotta go, sister. I love you. Y'all take care and God bless you. Gracie was beautiful and Tiffany was beautiful. You had some lovely girls and I am sorry. I don't know what to say. All right, Warden, let's do it." I couldn't find what his last meal was, and frankly, I just hope he choked on it. As for Delton, I read that he at some point was caught trying to escape prison, and he got another 7 years added to the 45 years in prison sentence he obtained from his deal. It seems like he became eligible for parole in 2005, but he was denied release then and denied again in 2015. From what I understand, he will have such hearings every 5 years, but I couldn't find any article about his release from prison, so I guess he is still behind bars. Jason Eric Massey, April 3, 2001. Massey killed 2 adolescents in his hometown on July 27, 1993. James Brian King, 14, and Christina Benjamin, 13, his stepsister. He mutilated Christina's private parts, removed her insides, and severed her head, hands, and nipples. King was shot twice in the head. A road worker discovered both of their bodies in a field close to Tellico on July 29. Some body parts were missing and have never been recovered. Shortly after being released from prison for animal abuse, Massey was apprehended and swiftly linked to the crime by forensic evidence. The following October, he was convicted of capital murder. In his journal, Massey discussed how he planned his killings, including how to avoid being discovered by the police and how to buy weapons. He also talked about his intention to kill 700 people in 20 years in order to become a serial killer. He recorded in another journal that he had murdered 7 cows and 73 cats and dogs. Massey's classmate and former teacher also testified about his unsettling conduct. According to a classmate, he threatened her on several occasions. Later on, it was discovered that Massey had disfigured and killed her dog before smearing its blood all over her vehicle. Jurors recommended his execution in under 15 minutes. He allegedly became a Christian while incarcerated on death row. His last meal was 3 fried chicken quarters, fried squash, fried eggplant, mashed potatoes, snap peas, boiled cabbage, 3 bits of corn on the cob with spinach, broccoli and butter, and 1 pint of ice cream, served with a pitcher of sweet tea. His last statement was, "Yes, first I would like to speak to the victim's family. First of all, I would like to say that I do not know any of y'all, and that is unfortunate, because I would like to apologize to each and every one of you individually. I can't imagine what I have taken from y'all, but I do want to apologize, and I do want to let you know that I did do it. You guys know that I am guilty, and I am sorry for what I have done. I apologize, and I know that you may not be able to forgive me, and I know that you may not be able to forgive me in this life and in this world, but I hope sometime in the future you will be able to find it in you to forgive me. And I want you to know that Christina, she did not suffer as much as you think she did. I promise you that. I give you my word. I know you guys want to know where the rest of her remains are. I put her remains in the Trinity River. I have said that since I have come to death row. I want to apologize to you again. I hope sometime in the future you can forgive me. Okay, now I want to speak to my mom and my family. Brother Anderson, Kathy, I want you to know that I appreciate all these years that you have been coming to see me on death row. And Daddy, I love you. I appreciate you all being here and being strong for me. And Mama, you know I love you. And I appreciate all of these visits, the letters, and everything you all have done for me. You all have been wonderful. You too, Granny. I love y'all, and you know, I want to apologize to y'all for what I have done, for all of the pain that I have caused, but all of this pain has brought us closer together, and all of this suffering that we have been through has brought us all closer to the Lord, and in the end, that is what counts, isn't it? That's what counts in the end, where you stand with Almighty God. I know that God has used this to change my life, and it's all been worth it because of that. If I lie here today where I lie, I can say in the face of death, Jesus is Lord. He has changed my life, and I know that when I leave this body, I am going home to be with the Lord forever. That's all I want to say. I love you all, and I won't say goodbye. I will say I will see you again. I love you, Daddy. Tonight, I dance on the streets of gold. Let those without sin cast the first stone. Please hit that subscribe button if you like my channel. See you next time. Bye bye.